Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and it's a packed house. As you look at the playoff picture, the 49ers can clinch a first-round bye with a win or a giant loss, and Kansas City can clinch a playoff berth with a couple of other conditions being met.
It's time, baby! It's
Tamar Vanover back deep for Tommy Thompson's kickoff. Thompson, who kicks with his right foot barefoot. It's kind of cool in Kansas City, but apparently it doesn't hurt him. Vanover, who is big and fast, has had some problems fumbling lately on kickoff returns, but he is dangerous. Vanover in the corner of the field at about the 7. Out to almost the 30, maybe the 28. Let's look at the Kansas City offense. Led by 10-year veteran Rich Gannon, who is 2-1 this season as a starter. A good offensive line in front of him. Criswell and Parker the tackles. Zott and Shields the guards, and Tim Grunhard the anchor at center. Greg Hill and Donnell Bennett will open at fullback in place of Kimball Anders. Risen, Dawson, and Popson are the receivers. First down, Kansas City. From their own 28. On first down, Greg Hill. Here is that #1 San Francisco defense. The front four: Dolman, Stubblefield, Bryant Young, and Kevin Green. The three linebackers: Norton, Plummer, and Woodall. Plummer in the middle. And the secondary: Darnell Walker, Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald is back, and Rod Woodson. 2nd and 7. Hill got 3 on the first carry. Hill again.
You know, it's interesting. One of the things the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do is run right at the middle. We talked about the strength of the 49er defense is right here. Here's Bryant Young. Here's Dana Stubblefield. That's the strength. Kansas City says that they're going to run right at their strength. They're going to go right up the middle, run right at those two tackles. That time, the Kansas City Chief offensive line blocked those two tackles.
3rd and 1. 3 wide receivers. Donnell Bennett gets the carry and gets the first down to the 40.
You know, it's interesting. Sometimes, your teams say we're going to do this or we're going to do that, and you think, oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about the 49er defense being so good, and to me, their strength really starts with Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young. These two guys right here in the middle, it starts in there with that middle, and they are going to go, and they're going to run right at it. I mean, here's Bryant Young. They get him stood up, and they get right by him, and they get the first down. I think Bryant Young is one of the best defensive tackles in all of football.
This is Hill on first down across midfield, and another first down. Stopped by Woodson.
The Kansas City Chiefs are one of those teams, and Marty Schottenheimer is the coach, that kind of goes into every game to prove something. You know, it's kind of like, we're the underdog. These guys, they've been in Super Bowls. They say they're better than us. They say, the NFC is better. And he makes, kind of us against them mentality up for every game.
Plus going against the best defensive unit in football, perhaps.
And I think this is a great barometer for both of these teams to see where they stand.
Gannon will throw. He's chased by Green. Pass complete to Bennett, who only gets about a yard. Kansas City is doing it against a dominating San Francisco defense.
Yeah, and you say, how did the San Francisco 49ers get where they are today? And I think it starts right there. That's the #1 thing. It starts with their defense, and you look how many categories within that defense that they're ranked #1.
That's pretty impressive right there. When you got that many #1s by your name, that's pretty good.
And they've been playing impressively.
2nd and long. Greg Hill gets only a couple.
I think they finally figured out what they're trying to do there at that running game is run up the middle, and and they got a little more stout in there. And you're going to see here. You see these two tackles here. They're going to start standing things up, and they're going to start plugging up here in the middle more. You see here they've won that battle on the line of scrimmage. You see they try and get movement on that. They didn't get any movement. In fact, the back ran right into one of his own guys.
On 3rd down, they need 7 for a first. Gannon going deep. Got a man. Incomplete. That's good coverage. Andre Rison.
And that's it. Anytime you get Tyrone Drakeford at corner,
yep.
And that's what the 49ers do in nickel, and you get this situation, that's where they're going to go. If there's anyone that's susceptible to getting beaten deep, it's Tyrone Drakeford in this secondary. Andre Rison is the top receiver in the Kansas City Chiefs, so they take their best receiver against the guy that is most susceptible.
And that pass was a little bit short.
If he throws that another 6 inches or so, that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. You're right. Aguiar's punt to Owezeke. And the coverage is excellent. The Chiefs take him down, led by Tony Richardson at about the 12-yard line. And San Francisco will go to work from there. Arrowhead Stadium. Not an empty seat anywhere. The 49ers road record 5-1. The Kansas City home record 5-0. Something's got to give. Garrison Hurst around the corner. Picked up good yardage. Let's look at the San Francisco offense led by Steve Young. 13-year career, 64.7 completion percentage, the highest of all time. Big offensive line in front of him. Deese, Brown, Dahlman, Gogan, and Strafford. 2 guards particularly big. Garrison Hurst, William Floyd, Stokes and Owens, the wide receivers, and Brent Jones, the tight end. Hurst got 6 at 2nd and 4. 2 tight ends set up for the 49ers. Here's Steve Young. Incomplete for Owens. Slightly behind him, but he could have caught it. Kansas City defense. Williams, Phillips, and Booker, the front 3. Outstanding linebackers. Derek Thomas, Davis, Edwards, and Simmons. Acquired from the Packers. Hasty and Carter, the cornerbacks. Woods and Reggie Tongue, the secondary. 3rd and 4.
You know, at one time, the strength of this defense was really the secondary, but I think this year it's changing to the strength of this Kansas City defense maybe being the linebackers.
Young catches him off balance with a quick count. And down he goes. Taken down by Dan Williams.
That's the thing the Chiefs wanted to do, is stop the run, get him in long yardage, and then tee off on Steve Young. You know, for years we'd heard, you know, you play the 49ers, you have to control Steve Young, you have to stop the pass. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is playing this game to stop the run, put Steve Young in passing situations, and make Steve Young beat him with the forward pass.
Thompson back to punt, standing in his own end zone to Vanover. Back for the Chiefs. Not his best effort. Should be returned and is returned. Kamara Vanover inside the 49er 40 and out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. A 38-yard punt, 12-yard return by Vanover.
There was all kinds of action on that punt, wasn't there? There was action on the sideline. There was action on the field. They just kept playing.
Marty Schottenheimer. His team's always thoroughly prepared.
Look at what they do to those gunners. You know, those outside guys on cover. They just maul them. I mean, they double team them. One starts and works on them, and the other goes on them, and they just do about anything within the rule. I don't even know that everything within the rule. Yeah. It took 2 to separate them, plus another guy was coming in. Yeah. I think it took 3 to separate them.
1st and 10, Kansas City at the 49er 38. Hill knocked backwards and recovered.
They say
surge.
Yeah, they got in there. Bryant Young got the penetration, but Hill was able to gain a little more yardage after that. If you watch Bryant Young, he's going to be right here. Now, you want to keep these guys on this sideline of scrimmage. When you get back in on this side, you're going to win that battle. Now watch number 97 there. You see, right there, he slithers through. Right there, he gets some penetration there, and that was the one that got Greg Hill.
And Dolman finally took him down. Gain of 1.5. Here's Gannon back to throw. Over the head of Norton and Donnell Bennett.
You know, that is the way to pick up a defensive line stunt, Pat. On that one, they had a defensive line stunt with Bryant Young and Chris Dolman. And you're going to watch Bryant Young goes down. Chris Dolman comes across here and falls over Bryant Young. Then if that happens there, you don't have to block. You see him go down, and watch Dolman goes right over the top of him. So they get a double dip right in the middle, which should have given Gannon a little more time to throw that one.
3rd and 7, maybe 8. Gannon back to throw again. 49ers blitz. He read it and got it outside to Andre Rison.
And he's the perfect guy to get it to, Spider-Man. After he catches one, he does his Spider-Man. First he twirls that ball and then does the Spider-Man. But if you're going to get the ball, who is his favorite receiver? Right now it's Andre Rison. They have good protection there. They pick up the blitz, and he gets the one-on-one coverage out there against Darnell Walker. There's Darnell Walker playing man-to-man on Andre Rison. That's a form of that fade stop.
Yep.
You know, you just start running up and stop anywhere you want to.
First down at about the 17. Gannon doesn't see Kevin Green coming, but he got away from him and gets it to Greg Hill. And Hill gets positive yardage. That good play by Gannon.
You know, we talk about Steve Young being such a good runner. Rich Gannon is the same type of thing. When he came out of college at Delaware, he was timing like a 4.5 In fact, the New England Patriots drafted him, and they were going to play him at another position. They said, we don't know if we're going to play a running back, wide receiver, defensive back. That was enough for Gannon. He said, I'm not going to play here.
I'm not going there.
And he forced a trade to Minnesota.
2nd and 5. Hill again.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, we talked about Zott and Grunhart and Shields inside, but even Glenn Parker and Jeff Criswell, you just watch it how they're controlling this area right here. This is where they're going to run. So these guys have to control these guys to be able to get the ball in there. Watch how they do it. You see they take off, they catch him, they pin him. Ted Popson, the tight end, gets a block also, but they didn't get any penetration. The 49er defense did.
1st and goal at the 6. Gannon looks incomplete. Gonzalez was in the game in place of Greg Hill, and that was for whom the pass was intended.
There's a
number
local
1 draft
guy,
choice.
yeah. Tony Gonzalez went to the University of California. Came out after his junior year. Remember, he played on the basketball team at Cal that went to the NCAA.
And played well.
I remember watching him in basketball, hadn't seen him play football, and I said, geez, just watching this guy play basketball, I would draft him as a number 1 tight end.
Marcus Allen is in the slot to the left. Touchdown, Rison.
Watch his Spider-Man move on the goalpost he puts. He's going to go put Spider-Man right on the goalpost.
Stuck to the goalpost.
Andre Rison, you know, he takes a lot of things. They say that he's not this and he's not that, but I'll tell you what he is. He's a heck of a good football player, a hard practice player, and a great competitor. Watch him. Here he is. Anytime you get this matchup up here, here's Andre Rison here. They know that they have one-on-one and a press coverage. He just gets to the outside, gets a step, and now Gannon can lead it not only up over, but to the outside.
Stoyanovich, extra point, makes it 7-0 Kansas City. The Chiefs over the 49ers early. Back at Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City 7, 49ers nothing. Stoyanovich about set to kick off as Andre Rison just scored for the Chiefs.
That's not a bad place to go when you get Andre Rison out there in that situation with man-to-man coverage, and the man-to-man coverage is tight coverage, and it's an ex-teammate. It was Darnell Walker.
Yeah.
You know, they played together at Atlanta, so Andre Rison knows what he can do, could do, and should do, and did it.
Stoyanovich, number 10. Chuck Levy back deep for the 49ers. 7-0 Kansas City. Levy. Flag on the play as Levy gets it out to the 40. Lost the football. Chiefs are saying they have it. The 49ers are saying he was down.
And the official, more importantly, is saying that he's down. The official was pointing to the ground.
Gary Lane.
Remember, there is a penalty, and I'm sure the penalty is going to be against the return team.
A good return by Levy.
Usually you don't see on kickoff coverage, when you see a penalty flag, you don't see a lot of it against the coverage team. It usually is, you know, either holding like we see here, or clipping, or hitting from the back, or those types of things. Hitting in the back above the waist, hitting in the back below the waist, those kinds of things.
On the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
7-0 Kansas City over San Francisco. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 7-0 Kansas City leads the 49ers. Steve Young surveys the defense. That's William Floyd. Back for those teams that are still involved in the playoff hunt. Every game is a must game from here on in. Young, look out. Flag on the play.
I think the whistle blew before the ball was snapped, Pat.
And Steve Young's hurt.
Yeah, and that play shouldn't have even happened. I think it has to be a penalty against the offense illegal movement, because the official on this side did blow his whistle, and he waved it off, and no one stopped. Especially no one stopped from that other side that hit Steve Young from his right side, which, being a left-hander, is his backside.
Yeah, he hit him right in the back.
You're going to see Steve Young turning to our side here, to his left, not feeling that pressure coming from the backside. And did he get loaded upon? Watch Anthony Davis, number 50, comes from his backside and just unloads with his helmet right in Steve Young's back. But again, the official stopped that play, Pat, before the ball was snapped.
And Derek
Prior to
Dees
the snap, false start.
also was shaken up
Number 40.
on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer after the whistle. Number 58 on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
Yeah, see what they're saying is when William Floyd moved, then that stops, because it's illegal motion, and the officials did stop the play, so there was no play at all. So Anthony Davis kept coming after the whistle blew, the whistle that stopped the play. You see, you're going to see right now the whistle is blowing. There is no play. You see, Steve Young is just standing there. Anthony Davis comes from his blind side and hits it from the back. Now, I will say the guy that blew the whistle, the official blew the official.
Unnecessary roughness, not roughing the passer, first down.
Yeah, because there was no passer, because there was no play, because the whistle blew before the ball was even snapped.
Steve Young just standing there, hitting the back. That was a whipsaw.
And again,
Derek Dees was taken out on the play ball also.
And I was saying that the official that blew the whistle was down here on this side. Anthony Davis came from the opposite side.
And now Frank Pollock.
The 49ers have had more problem at that offensive left tackle than any position on their team.
Yep. That's Garrison Hurst. And very little gain. Stopped by Tom Barnt.
Tom Barnt is an interesting story. He was an offensive lineman. He was an offensive lineman for the Chiefs, and it didn't look like he was going to make it as an offensive lineman. And Gunther Cunningham was a defensive coordinator, looked at him on defense and said, you know, if you're not going to keep him over there, if you're not going to play him over there, I will play him. So he's playing defense, a guy who started out as an offensive lineman.
Second and long. This is Hurst again. Out of bounds just outside the 30, about the 32.5-yard line.
One thing that's very impressive about this Kansas City defense is the way that they pursue and gang tackle. I mean, if you had to say, you know, at linebacker, you know, who has the most speed in the league, I would think it would be the Kansas City Chiefs.
They make the field look smaller.
Yeah, because they just fly to it. I mean, you know, Derek Thomas for years was one of the fastest guys in football, and now Anthony Davis is faster than him, and so is Donnie Edwards, the other two linebackers.
Frank Pollock now remains at left tackle. 3 wide receivers.
This is where Steve Young likes to try and find Brent Jones.
He also likes to run.
And find a first down.
He was hit after he slid, and no flag is thrown. Donnie Edwards got the shot and got up and started to wave his arms in the air like I didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, Steve Young, that doesn't make a lot of sense to him because they tell you if you go head first, they can tackle you. If you go feet first, supposedly you are giving up. The ball is going to be spotted right there where you go down, and they can't touch you.
That's feet first.
And he says every time he goes feet first, he said that's supposed to be the rule. He does it, and they still come in and clobber him.
First down. There's a guy who'll know where the markers are, Steve Young. This is Garrison Hurst, and he's got a blocker and some room. Hurst into Chiefs territory. The Chiefs come out of there with the football somehow. Reggie Tongue took the ball away from Garrison Hurst. And the 49ers are saying he was down.
I know it. They're all spotting and saying that he was down or out of bounds because it happened right there in the sideline. William Floyd better watch out.
Yep.
You don't want to get too animated around those officials.
And Carter better back away a little bit too.
Yeah, but especially when you start making movements like that, you're close to an official. You can't touch an official. You don't want to be making a lot of movements around him. They're having a crew conference now. You see the 2 officials and the referee that were involved in the play are talking to the referee. The other officials are trying to keep him away.
The ball is ruled down by contact. First down.
Well, we can look again.
Well, there's Garrison Hurst. And you see right there as he goes down, the ball comes out. I don't know what down by contact has to do. The ball is already out. That's a poor decision there. Another reason why I think we need instant replay. I mean, the ball is out. The ball is still in bounds when Reggie Tongue picks it up. That should be the Chiefs' ball. It's a fumble, and it's a recovery by the Chiefs.
But that's not the message that takes place on the field. It's the 49er ball.
Yeah, and that's why we do need instant replay. I mean, we have instant replay. We just have to use it. Everyone sees it. They see it here in the stadium. They see it in the luxury boxes. They see it in the coaching boxes. You see it at home. And the only guys that can't look at it are the officials.
First down, San Francisco at the Chief 45. Young to J.J. Stokes inside the 25. And again, the ball came loose, but he was down.
That's an interesting play. It's off that bootleg where you get the backs going one way and you try and get flow, and then you throw back against it. You see what you do is you get the backs coming this way to get a flow and hold this linebacker. Then you go back and you throw the ball out to this side. So you know what? The flow of the backs go to the right. Then he just stands up and knows that he can hold that linebacker to get that ball in that slant.
Derek Deese is back. This is William Floyd. Just shy of the 20, about the 21. Brent Jones was the tight end. Clark had been there.
You know, the 49ers got a couple of breaks on this drive. I mean, one wasn't a break. You know, the penalty when Anthony Davis hit Steve Young. That was 110 yards, and then after Garrison Hurst fumbled, it should have been the Chiefs' ball, and the 49ers, got to keep it. So they do have a couple of things going for them.
In the play against Steve Young, you didn't think that should have been a penalty?
No. It should have been a penalty, but they got 10 yards of penalty.
Right.
Oh, no, I thought that should have been. I mean, just because an offensive guy moves doesn't give you a free shot.
Doesn't give you a free shot at the quarterback. False start against the 49ers.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Last time it was William Floyd. This time it was his right guard, Kevin Gogan. And this place, Arrowhead Stadium, is one of the toughest stadiums to hear in for offensive linemen. I guess it could be offensive ends or backs for anyone, but
I guess
you just always jump on the side of linemen. You don't make an excuse for William Floyd, bar none. But when big old Gogan does, you make an excuse for him and say, "Oh, it's loud. Oh, big old Gogan can't hear."
The handoff is to Hurst, and Garrison Hurst inside the 20.
Big old Gogan got his 5 back on that one, Pat.
Did he ever?
Because they said, that big old Gogan moves, so now they said, well, let's give you a chance. So they run right behind Kevin Gogan. Watch him. He's the right guard. He is going to come down here, and that's going to create the hole that Garrison Hurst is going to run in. Watch Gogan come down there, get that movement there, create that hole, and get those 5 yards back that he just gave up.
Gogan and William Floyd both got the good blocks. Young outside to Brent Jones, who is hit hard.
Even the most experienced do it, don't they? Brent Jones runs a none-yard pattern, and that's one of the things on third down. Brent Jones should know that. Steve Young should know it. Brent Jones been in the league 11 years. You can't run a pattern short of the first down, because if you get it, you still have to kick anyway, so why even throw it?
It brings on the field goal unit, and it's a point well taken. Why put it in the air and take a chance of an interception if you're not going to get a first down? Anderson hits the field goal, and the 49ers get on the board. The Chiefs still lead 7-3. Back at Arrowhead Stadium, what a sight this is. Sold out, everybody dressed in red, or just about everybody in something red, including the cars in the parking lot, the tents.
Yeah, great tailgating here. Everything about football on Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City is pretty doggone good.
Kamara Vanover at the 7. To the 30. Brent Jones over on the sideline just caught that none-yard pass and hurt his finger in the process.
And I'm sure that Brent Jones is thinking about that and knowing when it's third down he has to run his pattern to a depth that he's going to get a first down. It seems like you're so used to seeing receivers today wearing gloves. Brent Jones doesn't wear gloves, and I don't think Ted Popson wears gloves either.
Merton Hanks has got a broken finger. So that's not a glove. That's a bandage.
A big old cast. That's a big old cast under that bandage, too.
Gannon back to Marcus Allen. And Marcus Allen for a couple, maybe 3.
Marcus Allen was talking about Barry Sanders yesterday and says, as long as he's been in this game, Marcus Allen, he says he never has ceased to be amazed by a guy like Barry Sanders, the way he runs.
He said these guys, there's Edwards leaving. Marcus said the people trying to tackle him are professional athletes, the best athletes in the world.
Yeah, paid professionals.
And they don't touch him.
And he said it's like trying to tackle Barry Sanders. He says it's like grabbing a bar of soap in a bathtub.
This is Marcus Allen. First down. Stubblefield ran him down. Marcus wouldn't like that. Say Dana Stubblefield ran him down, would he? 7-3. Chiefs lead. Mark Woodson apparently just got a stinger of some kind.
Yeah, it looks like if you watch here, watch his left shoulder right there as Marcus Allen makes a cut on him. Looks like he just knocks that 28 on that shoulder a little askew. And then, could have one of those stinger things, but I'll bet he'll be back in there in the next couple plays.
Word on Donnie Edwards is that he sprained his thumb and he's having it wrapped or rewrapped.
Or x-rayed.
That's Marcus Allen. And there's nothing for Marcus.
Marcus Allen is an amazing guy.
Yeah,
when you think of a guy playing the game as long as Marcus Allen has at this position, and for 16 years and playing it so well. And I know Marty Schottenheimer says yesterday that he thinks that he's still the best short yardage and goal line runner in all of football. And to me, those have always been the most important yards. I mean, you like first down's nice, second down's okay, but third down, short yardage, goal line, those are the most important downs you ever have.
And for Marcus Allen, no mention of retirement. Gannon. A lot of time in the pocket as Rich Gannon is stripped up.
Way too much time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's excellent pass protection by the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about how this was going to be a match and a game in the trenches and all those things. Kansas City's offensive line, this group right here, is winning that battle so far. Look at the time that Gannon has. I mean, he looks to his right, he looks to his left. He even brings his head down to look and see where the pass rush is. Doesn't see anything and brings his head back up.
Did you see how well they control those two tackles?
Well, that's what they have to do. I mean, they have to control Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield, and they're doing it both the run and the pass.
Here's Allen. Close to a first down, but didn't get it. Steve Young, who took a wallop in the back earlier, he still looks a little
I think
gingerly stepping around.
I think he could, because it was one of those things that, again, it was no play, and it looked like he was hit by Anthony Davis just as he started to relax.
Didn't expect the hit.
Wow, and not only didn't expect, I mean, you couldn't feel it, didn't see it, didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting call right here. Pat, Marcus Allen didn't make the first down. If I were Marty Schottenheimer, though, I would get a measurement to see exactly how much you need for a first down.
Well, you have the best. Well, he's getting a measurement.
In fact, they are going to do that, because that always helps in your decision. Of course, if you don't have very far to go and then you punt, it also gets the fans against you, too.
But when you have Marcus Allen, as you mentioned earlier, perhaps the best in short yardage clutch situations like this, maybe you go for it.
And Marty and his emotion, I think part of it is his emotion, part of it is the fact that he likes that kind of football, and I think a little part of it is the influence that these fans have.
No question about it.
Maybe even a little more of the influence that the official has when he gives you this look here. You only got that much to go.
About a foot. Back to Marcus Allen. And there's a reason he's the best on short yardage.
And it's just, Marcus Allen was saying yesterday on short yardage, what he tries not to do is to see ghosts, to think what's going to be there before you get there, to just let it happen, and it's all about a field. Now, you would expect that they would be going inside, and they get them all packed inside, and they just come on a flip. They flip the ball to him on the outside. He gets a good lead, and then he knows exactly where that first down marker is and gets beyond it.
First down, Kansas City at the San Francisco 45. The fake is to Marcus Allen. And Gannon's pass is caught by Lake Dawson, and Dawson fights inside the 20 to about the 18. Lost his hat.
I tell you, that's the thing. After Marcus Allen gets in there and runs a few, and then you get that defense anchoring, then you can get a hold. You see, when you get that play pass and you come in here, that's going to hold this group, and then you can come in and find big holes in behind them, and that's exactly what happens. It all starts with a play pass. You see the play pass, and that affects everything. And now Dawson is able to come right across the middle, and there's no defense underneath. Why? Because they went for the play fake.
Right. On first down, the fake handoff. Gannon rolls, and it's out of bounds. Intended for Rison, who dropped it, but he was out of bounds anyway.
One of the things that the 49er defense worries about is containing Rich Gannon, because we said how he has the speed, he has the quickness, and he is one of those guys that every time he goes back to pass is as dangerous running the ball as he is throwing it.
And the coaches all to a man yesterday said to us, he also makes very solid, very good decisions.
And Marty Schottenheimer, in practice, I watch him in practice, tells him that every play.
Donnell Bennett inside the 10. Stopped by Junior Bryant.
They said they were going to go right at their strength, that they were going to take the ball and they were going to run it right at these two guys. The strength of that 49er defense, they were going to run it right at, and they're doing that.
They double them both.
Yep, they double them both. They get just a little crease. It doesn't take a heck of a big hole, just a little crease to get that ball through there. That's exactly what Bennett does, and then after he gets through there, he runs like a fullback.
Which, of course, he is.
Which, of course, he should run like. That's why they're paying him.
That's Marcus Allen. Not much.
Marcus Allen on there.
Yeah, that was that
first down.
That was that short yardage play. They weren't trying to get much on that. You get third down inside the 10. You want to get the first down first and then go for the touchdown. I don't know that they got the first.
Yeah, they did.
They did get the
just
first
changed
down.
the marker. First and goal.
Watch Marcus Allen here, and you see why he's so good at this, because his feet never stop. You see, even right now, you see his feet, they're still going there, driving to get that first down.
First and goal at the 7. Chiefs already lead 7-3. Gannon back. Goes out of the pocket, and as John Madden's been saying, he can run. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 3.
And that really slows down a pass rush. Anytime a quarterback can run like that, then you say, we got to keep them contained. We have to stay in their lanes. And all those are things that take away your aggressiveness. You see, Kevin Green takes an inside. And the minute that he takes an inside, Rich Gannon sees that, and he goes right outside.
They knocked him out of bounds at the 2. So it's second and goal at the 2. And would you look, if you were playing defense, for Marcus Allen to get the carry?
I think this play and the next play and the play after, but they're going to come and talk about it first.
It's a timeout. San Francisco called this timeout. In Kansas City, we're at Arrowhead Stadium. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Second and goal at the 2, Kansas City. They've already gotten 73 yards rushing today, and that's more than the 49ers average. Gannon, touchdown. Gonzalez.
That was the play the offensive coordinator, Paul Hackett, called. They took a timeout. They had a chance to talk about it. You see Marcus Allen again here. You give the play back. You make him hold all this group here. Then you take your tight end and just sneak him right out there. Now watch the play fake. And you see here's Gonzalez right here. But watch what the play fake does. You see how it holds everyone there?
Yep.
Gonzalez sneaks out to the outside, and there's no defender near him.
Stoyanovich makes it 14-3. Kansas City over San Francisco. The 49ers have won 11 straight. They've got their work cut out for them.
We talk about play fake all the time, and it's the quarterback and it's also the running back. You see the quarterback fake there? Now watch Marcus Allen. He just keeps running and like dives like he's going for the end zone. Of course, that holds all the linebackers, and it holds that strong safety, and then you can sneak someone, once you fake that, sneak someone free in the end zone.
Stoyanovich kicks off to Chuck Levy at the goal line. Levy to the 30. Stopped by Joe Horn.
We saw the play fake part of it. Now watch Tony Gonzalez here, the rookie. He starts here, comes across in motion here, fakes a block here, and then just sneaks out into the end zone. See, so we saw the play fake part of it. Now watch Gonzalez come across. Now he's going to make a little block right here. See, boom, makes the guy play the block and then sneaks off him free into the end zone.
He did that very well, yeah. Gonzalez.
In fact, they did all those things. Rich Gannon made a nice fake. Marcus Allen carried out the fake. Gonzalez made a good part of the fake by coming to a block and then getting out.
Brent Jones moves over to the right side of the San Francisco offense, and this is Garrison Hurst. Hurst out of bounds at about the 35 by Reggie Tung.
Did you see old Minuski going down there on that? Watch him. Here he is, number 51, one of the great special teams players in the league. And watch what happens when you get down there and you run that hard to get there, and you get there first, and then you miss the tackle. You have to go through those gyrations.
And knowing him, that's not an act.
No, it's not. Nothing that Minuski does is an act. Believe me. Minuski's just a football player. He's a special teams guy.
On second down, Steve Young taken down, fumble. The 49ers got it back. Garrison Hurst recovered Young's fumble.
They're throwing Steve Young around like a rag doll on these things. Watch, this is where they got him early. Here again on another, that was the penalty play. Here he scrambles and slides and still goes down, and then of course that last one. And that's one of the things that Steve Mariucci has gone to a more conservative offense. He said really the secret behind his offense is just to keep Steve Young healthy.
Young gives to Terry Kirby, who only gets about
Hogan,
3.
You're going to get in a fight right there.
I don't know if Gogan's the guy I want to get in a fight with.
Yeah, but the thing is Gogan makes you get in fights with him. Because Gogan plays from the time the ball snapped until the whistle blows, and then a little beyond it.
I still don't know if he's the guy I want to get in a fight with.
You don't want to get any JOPs around him, any of those jops, where you come after the play's over and jump on the pile, because he'll pick you up if you do a jop.
Kick is blocked. The punt's blocked. Thompson's punt is blocked by the Gonzalez. And the Chiefs have it inside the 49er 5.
Everyone was saying what a great player Tony Gonzalez is going to be. Of course, he played for Steve Mariucci, the 49ers head coach, last year at the University of California. He caught a touchdown pass, and then lo and behold, he comes in and lays out. Now that is a great athletic move. Usually you block with two hands. Watch Tony Gonzalez come in here and just reach out with one hand, his right hand, and whap that thing down, and then go get it.
It didn't look like he was really trying to block it.
They only sent one guy on that. Look, he's the only guy coming. He comes from the right side, and that looks like a basketball block.
Yep.
That's the way you block a shot in basketball. Tony Gonzalez blocked a punt.
First and goal at the 3. Allen standing up.
The Kansas City Chiefs are taking it to the 49ers, and they're taking it to their defensive line. Yesterday, all the Chiefs were saying, we're not going to let these guys intimidate us. And no one in this locker room is in awe of the 49ers. And they really have come out in this first half and played that way.
I think they've intimidated the 49ers.
Well, look at this hole right here. I mean, there is no one that gets a hand on Marcus Allen. You see Ken Norton Jr., he was just standing up there, and they went right by him.
And that middle is the strength, or has been, of the 49er defense. Look at that. Marcus Allen just added on to NFL history. Rushing touchdown number 121.
Let's watch the block that Dave Zott makes here. Here's Ken Norton. He's going to be standing right in the hole. Zott comes around, gets him, and hooks him right there. Norton should make this play. Because see him step up there? He's right in the hole. Now watch what Zott does to him right there. Hits him, holds him, turns him. No one touches Marcus Allen.
Levy back deep for the 49ers. Stoyanovich to kick it off. Short kick. Bounces away from Levy, who touched it. Picked it up now. Chuck Levy. Take it down at about the 16. Things are falling apart quickly for the 49ers. Our Aflac trivia question. Which was the last team to win a Super Bowl without a 1,000-yard rusher? Got any ideas?
Yeah, I would think it's probably one of the two teams playing here today.
At Arrowhead?
At Arrowhead. When Kansas City, when the Chiefs won Super Bowl III, I think they had a 1,000-yard rusher in Mike Garrett.
I think they might have. Flag on the play.
Eric Thomas is saying that Derek Deese moved on that one. The left tackle, number 63.
False
Prior
start.
to the snap, false start, offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Derek Deese.
Yeah, Derek Deese was right here. And you see again, what he has to do is he has to block Derek Thomas on the outside. And Derek Thomas got wide on him. And when you have to block a speed rusher, that'll happen quite a bit.
Young. Pass complete to Owens. And it gets harder and harder to be able to predict what the heck is going to happen around the NFL. Young swings it out to Kirby.
You know, I think one of the reasons
to William
for that,
Floyd, excuse me.
I was just going to say, Pat, one of the reasons for that is there's really no dominating teams in the league anymore. There are some good teams, and to me that's the difference between being good and dominating. If you're a dominating team, you can have mistakes and still win. If you're a good team, if you have mistakes, you're going to lose.
And as you pointed out, although the Chiefs look like they're a pretty dominating team today,
they're dominating the 49ers in this first half.
Kirby in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. And here comes a Chief blitz, and down goes Steve Young. Not enough people left to protect.
Now, the 49ers are reverting to the team that started the season, not the team that's been in the middle and towards the end of this season. Watch the pressure. Here's Derek Thomas. Again, we talk about a speed rusher coming against Derek Deese. He just does it. He just runs right around him.
Yeah.
I mean, Deese, at some point, you have to pop him. I mean, the guy comes and you have to give him a pop. You just can't take the ride, because if you take the ride on a speed rusher, he's going to ride you right into your quarterback.
He's going to leave you hitchhiking. Thompson's punt. And that's Vanover. Midfield. Flag on the play. Another flag on the play as Vanover goes out of bounds at about the 45.
You know, and that's going to be one of those things where you get the gunner coming down, the 2 outside guys that can leave. The penalty happened on blocking them on the sideline. But the deal is when the hat comes off, that means that a player went out of bounds. Now, if he goes out of bounds, he has to try to get back in. So if he doesn't try to get back in, it can be against the guy going down, against the gunner. If they knock him down and keep him out of bounds or lay him, then it can be against the guys that are blocking him. But there's something happening over in that sideline.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is, but we don't. You got a couple of heads without hats, so that's going to tell you that something happened way out of bounds. Say when you get those, and so that's going to be part of it. Then when you get the flag, then there's going to be a penalty involved in it. The hat just means that it happened, it's okay. The flag means that after it happened, then something else happened that they're going to throw a flag on. If you
Now,
know what I
after
mean.
they throw the flag and the hat, what do they have left?
The beanbag.
Beanbag.
You see right there? Oops, we used to have a shot there. We don't have it anymore. But that thing in the front is a beanbag. They signal it's against the 49ers. That right there is a beanbag. So they got the flag first, then the hat, then the beanbag.
What kind of beans, you know?
Well, no, I think they just have, you know, in the flag they have popcorn.
Right.
In the yellow flag. In fact, I carry one around with me all the time.
Unpopped.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the kicking team, running out of bounds, not making an effort to come in, number 28. By rule, that penalty is declined. Personal foul.
82.
Number 82 on the receiving team, late hit out of bounds, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Okay, now watch. Here's the first part, because he just gets out of bounds. They said that he stayed out of there too long. he's not trying to get back in.
Curtis Buckley.
That was Curtis Buckley. So then, but that doesn't mean that you can take and have a personal foul too. So they didn't take that one. They take the personal foul.
Buckley was on the warning track. Derek Walker was the chief call for the personal foul.
And they aren't going to penalize the 49ers for it, he said. They are penalizing the Chiefs for it.
They're going to take some time to think about it right now. 21-3, Kansas City.
My name's Dan Mears of the Kansas City Chiefs. I take a lot of pride in wearing this uniform. I tell people I go to work every day in a suit and a tail.
5:08 left before the halftime. Kansas City 21, San Francisco 3. Look at the field position that Kansas City has had as opposed to what San Francisco has faced. That's one of the reasons they lead. Greg Hill. Let's go back to that Aflac trivia question again. Which was the last team to win a Super Bowl without a 1,000-yard rusher? The last team. It was these 49ers in 1994 when Ricky Waters.
Yeah, that would be a good guess, because you know the 49ers were one of those teams that for a long time would use that short pass. That's kind of the West Coast offense, where you use that short pass in lieu of a run.
Hill wrapped up by McDonald, Tim McDonald.
I think the 49er defense is going to have to get Tim McDonald more involved in the run defense, because they aren't having success with, you know, stopping them with that 7. And that's the thing, we always talk about, that 8-man up, that 8th man in the box. Well, of course, that 8th man becomes the strong safety, and when you're playing the 49ers, it becomes Tim McDonald. So I think on first and second down, especially, you know, the running type down, I think we'll see more and more of Tim McDonald up around the line of scrimmage.
Third down, 3 wide receivers set up for Kansas City. Gannon straight back this time. And now straight forward. Rich Gannon will get a first down before he is knocked backwards. But he still gets all the way to the 45, and they'll move the sticks.
Yeah, Bryant Young got penetration, and the thing the 49ers talked about, the number one thing that they had to do is to be able to contain Rich Gannon. Now watch right here. Bryant Young does get by Will Shields. You see him break free right here? He's going to break free right there. And that's the thing that makes Rich Gannon start to run. He starts a little to his right, and then no one has their lanes in the middle. No, there's no containment on the outside. And like I said, when you start worrying about lanes and containment and all those things, that takes away aggressiveness and pass rush.
2 tight ends set up. Whistle on the play quickly. Been a long time since I've seen an offensive guard do as good a job as Dave Zott's done today.
But you know, and he's a real athletic guy, and he has to be.
False start.
With that stance.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Tim Grunhard, the center. But as time passes, there's Dave Zott. Now his stance is one of the most unusual I've ever seen.
Yeah, he gets in a different type of stance to get started, but he comes out of it quickly. But he comes out of it quickly in great positions.
Unusual. Gannon going deep for Risen. Comes up with the catch. What a catch by Andre Rison.
I think Andre Rison is saying it's unbelievable. I can't even believe it. I'm Spider-Man. Who am I?
The ball stuck to him. 45-yard game.
I think you can do that most of the time. You know that if you get Andre Rison, he's a heck of a competitor. He's a battler, and if you can get him man to man and just give him a little lead, he'll come up with the ball. You see, watch that right there at the end. You see that little push that he got on Rod Woodson? He got that push, and that just held Woodson back enough that gave him about a 3-inch separation, and Rich Gannon throws a perfect pass. Now watch what Dave Sott does here. He's getting beaten here by Dana Stubblefield right there, and at the end, he's just going to leg whip him and just catch Dana Stubblefield and knock him down. That's illegal, by the way.
Yep.
But you know, if you're an old lineman, though, and a guy gets by you, you do whatever you can to keep him off your quarterback.
1st and goal, Kansas City. Andre Rison has 3 catches for 69 yards and 1 touchdown, and Kansas City has 1st and goal from the 5, and they have dominated things here at Arrowhead. Marcus Allen, fumble, got it back.
You know, yesterday Carl Peterson, the general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs, was talking about Thanksgiving and so on. He said the thing that he's most thankful for is getting Andre Rison.
Yeah.
You know, that he was available from the Green Bay Packers, and Andre Rison did a great job last year with the Packers. Remember, in the Super Bowl, scoring a touchdown and everything when they needed him. He really did come through for them.
2nd and goal at the 5.
In fact, when the Green Bay Packers got Andre Rison, they went undefeated from that point on.
Allen again stopped at about the 3.
Now that would have been a good time for the play pass. They did the play pass. They got the one to Tony Gonzalez earlier. It's going to be tough to do on 3rd down because this is really a long yardage situation. That's Paul Hackett right there, the offensive coordinator who calls these plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's calling some good ones in this first half, isn't he?
3rd and goal at the 3. 45 seconds and the clock running down to halftime with Kansas City leading 21-3.
The 49ers have 2 timeouts, but they aren't going to take it. They're just going to let the Chiefs control the clock, which they did.
And they took the timeout. Marty Schottenheimer has his team well prepared. With JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie, they're all there. Scores, highlights. It's 3rd and goal at the 3 here at Arrowhead, with the Chiefs already leading 21-3. 2 tight ends set up, and now Gannon can't take another timeout. He wanted to, but he can't. Gannon lofts it. Sure is. Gonzalez.
Yep, Darnell Walker was out there man-to-man. They had Tony Gonzalez came in the game, and he was split out left like a wide receiver. The Chiefs do a lot of that.
In the end zone, number 38. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. 1st down.
1st and goal at the 1.
Well, here's Gonzalez, a tight end, lined up here. He's just going to run an upright here. Darnell Walker is number 38. He's man-to-man on him. Gannon just throws the ball up like a jump ball. Darnell Walker hits Gonzalez before the ball even gets there.
There have been a lot of questions asked this year about what is pass interference. That was pass interference. Marcus Allen. Looked like he might throw an option pass, and he does. And Popson comes down one-handed and makes the catch. An ex-49er.
That was the old run pass. We talk about play pass where you fake the run and the quarterback throws it. The run pass is where the running back gets the handoff, goes like he's going to run the ball, then he throws a pass. Marcus Allen looked like he was going to throw it earlier. This isn't a thing of beauty, although the catch by Ted Popson is. Watch Marcus Allen. He was going to throw it. He put it down. He was going to run it. Then he was going to throw it again. And he throws some popsicle up there, and Ted Popson picks it off with one hand. This is turning into a first half rout.
Popson gets the touchdown. .26 seconds left, and Kansas City leads San Francisco.
Yeah, we know what it looked like on Marcus Allen, but let's watch Ted Popson here. And the tight end who also played for the 49ers. He's running it out, and then he just looks at that thing, that jump ball, and he did get both feet in, I guess. It was awfully close, though, wasn't it?
Very close. But there was an official looking right down the line. He dragged both feet. I don't know if they're in.
I don't know. It looks like that right one is out in that one. I don't know if that was a pass or a lob or a jump shot that Marcus Allen threw.
Or it looked like the shot put, although.
But whatever it was, that was his 6th career TD pass.
Chuck Levy to the 41. Why is it in black and white?
I don't know. Just because when you get too far forward, you have to take a couple steps backward.
I guess. It's as good an explanation as any. Steve Young back in the pocket. Brent Jones. And he comes up calling timeout. The 49ers have one left now.
Yeah, see, the 49ers right there are in a position where it'd be about a 50-yard field goal. So what they'd like to do is get one more completion because they still have a timeout and they can do it. And that's what Steve Mariucci is thinking right now. I think you try for one more completion, use your timeout and kick the field goal.
Or you get in that area where it's painted Chiefs down at the end, called the end zone.
Well, that's the other thing you can do. I mean, but do you try now to take a shot at the end zone? If it's incomplete, you have to kick the field goal from here. Or do you try now to pick up another 10 yards for your field goal kicker? I would think they would try and pick up another 10 yards.
Well, they have one more timeout, which they'll need to get the field goal team on the field. Young. Here comes the blitz.
Look out.
And Derek Thomas around the corner.
Derek Thomas is raising havoc over there on that left side of the 49er offense.
But the flag on the play must have been against Kansas City.
Prior to the snap, false start.
No.
Offense.
No play.
Number 76. Please reset the game clock to 11 seconds.
Kirk Scrafford, easy tackle on the other side. Kirk Scrafford is right here. He's the right tackle. Derek Thomas came from the other side. Watch Scrafford. I don't know. He didn't move. There's nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with that. Unless they said that he wasn't up on the line of scrimmage, but Derek Thomas just blew by the blocker on the other side.
Derek Thomas has been blown by Derek Deese a big part of this first half.
Young whips it to Owens, and Owens fights his way down inside the 20 to about the 15, and the 49ers take a timeout. Now, do you send your field goal team on the field, or you take another shot?
No, you send your field goal team on.
Here they come. Anderson and the field goal unit out on the field for San Francisco. And now Kansas City takes a timeout. Let him think about things a little bit. Not him, not Steve Young.
You know, this is a tough one for the 49ers because I think it's a barometer. You know, everyone has said that the 49ers have a good record, but they hadn't played anyone. And everyone, you know, in the old thing about the NFC being the dominant conference over the AFC. And I think it's a barometer for those types of things. I mean, I think that the two best teams in the NFC are San Francisco and Green Bay right now, and Denver and Kansas City in the AFC. This doesn't mean who's going to be in the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, or any of those things, but I think it is a barometer to see where you stand in relationship to each other among the best.
You know, and add some fuel, too. This is from 34 yards to those who've been saying the 49ers haven't beaten anybody. Anderson. Yes, sir.
And that's probably what they'll be talking about at halftime. You know, that people are saying that, and we're showing that it's true.
That's probably right.
Because this has been a shocking thing, the way the 49ers are playing.
That's the end of the first half with the score Kansas City 28, San Francisco 6. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report after these messages. Halftime at Arrowhead. The Chiefs lead the 49ers 28-6. This first half highlight brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. Andre Rison. He scored the first Chief touchdown today. This was setting up the third one. Great pass from Rich Gannon to Andre Rison. Will return to Arrowhead Stadium for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. Just about ready to start the second half with the Chiefs leading the 49ers 28-6. And a tribute to this this bunch, John.
Well, that's one thing that we talked about earlier. There was going to be who was going to dominate whom. And in the first half, this offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs has really dominated the defensive of the San Francisco 49ers. You look and see that they've rushed for 90 yards already, and they haven't allowed a sack. And then the other thing is they wanted to go right at their strength. If you look here, they've run left 4 times for 18 yards. Look at that middle there. They've run 14 times at Bryant Young, Dana Stubblefield, Ken Norton Jr. in that group for 47 yards and a TD. They run 4 times to the right and 25 yards.
And Steve Young had a tough beginning. That was his first pass attempt right there.
Yeah, and then this one was the one that was a penalty. There was no play, and he got hit from the back. And whereas the Kansas City Chief offensive line really did dominate, I think that the defensive line of the Chiefs and their defense also dominated the offensive line of the 49ers. So in that battle in the trenches, I think the 49ers have lost both sides of it.
You know, in talking to the Chief coaching staff yesterday, they were saying that they had noticed that the 49er tackles particularly had backed off the ball a little bit. And that's just an invitation to run right at them.
And I think that was the thing. The 49er tackles, they were talking about Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young, that they weren't crowding the ball as much. And anytime that anyone does play off the line, then that is an invitation, like you say, to run at them. And they've done it continuously in this first half.
Bouncing kick goes past one of the front men and finally is downed and goes out of bounds. And the 49ers finally corral it. Chad Fan comes up with it. And so San Francisco, no return, will take over at about their own 25.
Andre Rison, anytime that he's had a chance to come up or to make a play in that first half, he sure made it.
Steve Young. See how well the 49ers have regrouped. It's the first time they've faced a challenge like this.
Right, and one of the things that Steve Mariucci does, of course, he calls the plays. He also scripts the second half. So we're going to see his script right now.
Young, outside brings Young. 6 yards.
And I would bet that script would be this, not only including more passing, but including more first down passing, because they weren't having success on first down run, nor were they having success on 3rd and long. And a lot of times, or most of the time, no success on first down run will equal long yardage on 3rd down.
2nd and 4. Stokes goes wide to the left, Owens to the right. That's Garrison Hurst, and he's off to the races. Garrison Hurst all the way to the Chief 45. So far, they regrouped pretty well. It looked like he was down back at the line of scrimmage.
Right, and the Kansas City Chiefs forgot to tackle because it looks like here's Garrison Hurst. It's a single back. You're going to see Kevin Gogan pull, and he gets a block here. Garrison Hurst is going to take it inside. Then right there, he bounces it to the outside, and there's no containment. Yeah. The containment got caught up in the wash inside, and Garrison Hurst was able to bounce it outside.
Young fake to Kirby. Gets it to William Floyd, and Floyd gets across the 20.
You know, what he was trying to do is that same pass that he threw earlier, but he was trying to do it deeper and get J.J. Stokes out there. It was Terrell Owens who was on the left side, and they were trying to get that flow again. Instead of throwing to Terrell Owens on a slant, they tried to get him on a post, but James Hasty was on him. In fact, James Hasty has been covering Terrell Owens today, and he was on him on that one pretty good. This time he's down here on J.J. Stokes.
Two tight ends. Kirby, the ball carrier. Broke away from one, but not the second. Reggie Tongue was the first guy there, and he hung on.
He got hit by his own guy before he got to do his celebration, but we talked about the containment, and the containment is always going to come on an outside run by either the strong safety or the corner on that side. Reggie Tongue got caught up on the inside on that long run by Garrison Hurst. That time, he was the outside or the contained guy.
3rd and 7. One lone setback, and they better keep some people in to protect Steve Young because the Chiefs are coming. And the ball is loose. I think his arm was going forward, though. It was an attempt at a pass.
And you were right. They just can't do that. If they're going to protect Steve Young, they can't go with the open formations. They're going to have to keep, just like you said, they're going to have to keep someone in there. And I think one of the secrets to their success is protecting Steve Young. But when you open up formations like this and your protection doesn't have control, you don't have a chance. Now, if your offensive line was dominating them, you would have a chance at that type of thing. But they haven't been. They are being dominated.
Gary Anderson, 2 for 2, will try this one from 40. Plenty of distance. And the 49ers make it 9, 28-9. They moved the best they've moved with the second half kickoff. Garrison Hurst got a bruised shoulder, headed for the locker room. Don't know if he'll be back or not.
Then did you see following him was his starting right tackle, Kirk Strafford, and he looked like he was grabbing in the rib area and explaining to someone what was wrong with him. So
Vanover.
Players.
Vanover gets it outside. He's got the great speed. He tripped up. Frankie Smith tripped him up.
You know, talking about speed, Pat, watch this. Here's Derek Thomas. He was telling us yesterday, we're saying, who's the fastest guy? And he said, it depends. He said, if you put me in a three-point stance and snap the ball, I'm the fastest. Now, look what he was talking about. Here it is right here. And Derek Deese just doesn't have a chance.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
the
just
backs
a blur.
don't have a chance. I mean, he gets by him so quickly, and then he's coming to Steve Young's onside, the side he's trying to throw to, and he's there before Steve Young ends up his drop back.
Just a blur. Stratford has a bruised rib, by the way. You heard me say perhaps that Hurst had a bad shoulder. Flag on the play as Greg Hill gets to midfield. But a penalty marker down, and that is probably going to be holding against Kansas City.
Greg Hill was saying that he probably plays less snaps.
Holding offense, number 68, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Will Shields is number 68, but
he probably plays less snaps than any starting running back in the league. Will Shields is the right guard there, and you see him hold right there. You see he just got a thing there, and one of the ways to block Bryant Young is to hold him, although Will Shields has been doing an excellent job today against Bryant Young.
1st and 20. Bright sunshine in Kansas City now. Flag, whistle, no flag.
Yep.
Or is there a flag? Yes, there is.
There's flags and whistles, and usually, again, when the ball is stopped, when they don't snap the ball, it's on the offense. Anytime the flags go down, whistles blow and stop the play.
False start. Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Glenn Parker, the right tackle.
Yep, there it is right there. The play before it was Will Shields. Yep, you see that, just that little rocking movement. And again, it's usually when you're going to block a speed rusher. You know, when you have a Kevin Green on you, when you have a Derek Thomas on you, they tend to rock back on passes a little.
1st and 25. Here's Gannon back to throw. Pressure from Young. But Gannon has time and finds his receiver, Andre Rison.
Yeah, we were talking about how this Kansas City offensive line has been dominating. You know, we're talking about the run, but also on pass protection. When Rich Gannon has gone back there, he's had time to pass today. And watch his protection here. You see, I mean, he's getting time. He can look. He finds a lane that he can step up. He's real good at that. Buy a little more time. Let his receiver get open.
Don't you think a defensive pass rusher will become more cautious when you get a guy like Gannon back there?
That's exactly what's happening to him. You know, they're being told, you know, keep your containment and stay in your lanes. They're not aggressive.
2nd and 6. Greg Hill broke about 4 tackles and got a Kansas City first down. Remember, it was 1st and 25.
And this is the thing, when you start losing your aggressiveness in here and up front, then everything bad is going to happen to you. You don't have the pass rush because you're worried about lanes. You don't tackle well. You're not aggressive. You're not making things happen. And then guys like Greg Hill are making runs like that against you. And I think Rich Gannon has done a lot to take away the aggressiveness of this 49er defense.
Chiefs have 100 yards even. The only other team to come close to that was Tampa Bay in the first game of the year.
But they are, you know, this is the thing that Marty Schottenheimer was saying that was interesting yesterday. He said, have the 49ers ever been behind all season by more than 7 points? He asked us the question.
Yeah.
Of course, he already knew the answer.
Of course he did.
And he said it would be interesting to see them have to play from behind. He said, we know how they play from being even or being ahead. But it would be interesting to see how they would play from behind. And, you know, like he knew what the heck was going to happen today.
Well, you got to protect Steve Young. That's the first thing. Pass was juggled and intercepted. That's Darnell Walker. Walker is still on his feet out to the 15. And the 49ers will take over there.
That was great coverage by Darnell Walker. He was man-to-man on Lake Dawson, and he handled that part.
So the 49ers will take over. Excuse me.
No, he's beating Lake Dawson.
Back at Arrowhead Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 28-9 now. 49ers have the ball at their own 15. Steve Young has a lone setback. Terry Kirby. Time. That's to Stokes. For a report right now, let's send you down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Pat, I was outside the 49ers locker room. As you know, Garrison Hurst with that bruised right shoulder. They took him in for what we believe to be x-rays. We'll keep you posted on his return.
Okay, Pam, thank you very much. Steve Young's completed pass is a couple of yards, that's all.
We also saw Kirk Strafford go in with him. Kirk Strafford came back out, and he's in the lineup now. He ran out of the locker room, and he ran right into the huddle.
Yes, bruised ribs. Kirby is on the move. Young gets it to Kirby. That was sort of a moving attempt at a screen.
The thing is on a screen, you kind of want to let the defense go, but you want to let them go a little later. And he got penetration right away, and he had to do something. He wanted to throw the screen. He had to throw the screen before it had a chance to develop. You know, and again, that's Derek Thomas. I mean, Derek Thomas, if you say they've had one thorn in their side, Derek Thomas has been the thorn in the side of the 49ers all day, and he's right here now.
That's more like a railroad spike than a thorn.
Big old spike, huh?
Pass is incomplete. A flag on the play. Terrell Owens almost got the rebound.
Yeah,
The ball was knocked in the air.
Really one of the best defensive backs in football is James Hasty. He's one of the most physical. That was Hasty on Terrell Owens.
Holding on the defense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Donnie Edwards.
Yeah, you're going to see Donnie Edwards is here. He's a linebacker on the slot out there, and you're going to see him hold right there. You see him, he just grabs and hold on. Now, again, he can hit the guy, but he has to get his hands off him.
Yeah.
He can chug him within that 5-yard area, but he can't just hold on.
A little break for the 49ers. First down, automatic. And here's Steve Young on first down. Gets it to William Floyd, and Floyd stays on his feet.
I'll tell you, Derek Williams is getting, Derek Deese is getting killed over there on this side. That last one, it was Williams. Dan Williams, number 92. He just kind of ran right by him. He took an inside move on him. And here's Deese here. He's a left tackle. Here's Williams. He just takes an inside move, and no one even hits him. I mean, you have to have better pass protection than that. I mean, he just runs right inside, and that's making Steve Young throw when he's not ready to, or throw when he doesn't want to.
Kirby. It should be enough for a 49er first down. A spinning move by Terry Kirby.
Well, Vaughn Booker was in that backfield, and Kirby gave that first spin. You usually don't see a spin that quickly. But watch Kirby. He's going to come in there. Booker's right there. You see him? He has a penetration.
Yeah.
Kirby gives him a spinner. Booker just goes down to all fours. So what in the heck happened? I was in there all of a sudden. Maybe I closed my eyes and couldn't find him.
He was more of a dervish. Here's Young. Flag is thrown as J.J. Stokes makes the catch and carries the defender with him about 10 yards.
That's one of the things that Steve Young has been talking about with these two receivers he has, J.J. Stokes and Terrell Owens. They're so big that he doesn't have to lead them. He just has to throw the ball and let them outbody the other guy.
Pass interference, defense, number 40. Penalties decline. The catch is good. First down.
Hasty, and watch this.
Here's J.J. Stokes, and again, he's so big. I mean, both the receivers are so big and strong. You see right there is the interference, and then the other interference. But J.J. Stokes still catches the ball. Perfect throw by Steve Young.
And then Hasty can't get him down. Young passes too far for Owens and intercepted by Dale Carter. I think he had to hurry the throw.
Well, Carter was back there just playing zone, and he overthrows that one. Watch Carter here. He's playing deep all the way. He's reading the quarterback deep, stay as deep as the deepest. He reads the quarterback. The ball was overthrown. It goes right to Carter.
Steve Young was under pressure. Six and a half minutes left in the third quarter. 28-9. Kansas City leading. They might be leaving. Attendance today 77,535. Sellout. Donnell Bennett gets the carry.
I don't think anyone's going to be leaving. I think when you look at the weather, the sun's coming out now. These people love their Chiefs and love to come to these games and tailgate. No one's going to leave anywhere.
Well, I know somebody's going to leave.
Well, we're going to leave after the game. Yeah, go back to California. Look at this. You know, you talk about why teams are good and why organizations are good. And a big statistic is turnover. And that's one of the things that the Kansas City Chiefs have always been good at.
And so have the 49ers. Here's Gannon in the end zone. Chase. Pass is caught. Gonzalez makes the reception for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at the Kansas City and San Francisco, with Kansas City dominating things from the outset. It's back to Donnell Bennett. And Bennett.
We talked about how that offensive line of the Chiefs have been controlling the defensive line of the 49ers, but they're also controlling the linebackers. If you notice that you haven't heard many tackles by Ken Norton Jr. or by Gary Plummer or Lee Woodall, they're also getting these guys. I mean, it's not only the front group, but watch how they try and get penetration, and they pick them off, knock them down, and then get to the outside. So it's not only that they're dominating the front four in the defensive line, but they're also on those linebackers. These 49er linebackers haven't made a lot of plays.
All three of them were looking down at the ball carrier after the tackle had been made on the last play.
And this is a thing, we talked about earlier, that if you're going to get that 8th guy up there, it's going to have to be Tim McDonald. And I think he's going to have to get more involved in the run. And you see here Ken Norton trying to get in there, but they're picking him off all the time. That time he was able to get in there, get picked off, and then get back.
3rd and about a foot.
And I would expect that Tim McDonald, like I said, would be right up there at or near the line of scrimmage, which he is.
Marcus Allen's the deep back. Marcus is close, but very close. He didn't need much.
In fact, he ran right by Tim McDonald. They had Tim McDonald up there trying to guess that hole. He guessed the right hole, and Marcus Allen ran right by him.
And they're going to measure to see if he did indeed make it.
Watch over here. You see that they got the extra guy over there on the left side. Here's Tim McDonald. He's coming through free. And I think that Marcus Allen just felt it, knew that McDonald was there, and just had to tighten up a little because of it.
First down.
Tighten up a little and then stretch out at the end to get that first down.
Got it by about the length of the ball, but he got it.
Marty Schottenheimer is one of those guys that uses a lot of players. And he said one of the reasons that when he was a player, he was a career backup. And he said as a career backup, you always want to get in the game and you don't get in there. So he tries to create a position or a role for all his players, so he really doesn't have, quote, backups.
Gannon, play fake, rolls out, incomplete. Intended for Rison. Had to come back for the ball.
Gannon really looks comfortable back there today. We know that Elvis Gerbach was the starting quarterback here for the Kansas City Chiefs, and Rich Gannon was a backup, and he's come in here in the last 3 games. There's Elvis Gerbach right there. As he came over from the 49ers to Kansas City, has a broken collarbone. But Gannon is, he's an 11-year veteran, so, he's been around, but he's not jumpy at all.
No.
He looks very, very calm and very comfortable.
And as Marty kept saying yesterday, he makes very good decisions. That's Marcus Allen for about 6.
I think that, just talking about Marty Schottenheimer and good coaches and guys that have good programs, I think you can't do a football game today without mentioning Eddie Robinson. One of the all-time great coaches on any level, won more games than any coach, coached his last game yesterday, and doggone, it's not going to be the same.
No.
Think of all the players and all the people's lives that he affected, and to see that come to an end, we're all going to miss him in football.
And affected in a positive way. Here's Gannon. And a receiver, Rison, fell down. Gannon fired it over his head. If he's going to fall down, it's going to go over his head.
Right. Yeah, if it goes underneath, then you have a real story. But the fans wanted a pass interference, and they were saying that Darnell Walker hit him when the ball was in the air. In fact, Andre Rison thought that too.
Yep.
But they're letting them get away with a lot more of that stuff this year than they ever have in the past.
Aguiar back to punt. Away is the K back deep for San Francisco. High kick. Ways the K. Has it fall on the ground. He got it back. (28-9). Kansas City leads the 49ers. .226 left to play in the third quarter at Arrowhead Stadium. Steve Young and the 49ers trailing 28-9. Brent Jones adjusts the position. Young again under pressure.
You know, I think unless they give Derek Deese some help over there, or at least put a tight end over there. They started a tight end and then put him in motion, but Derek Deese all by himself just can't handle Derek Thomas. I mean, they got to give him either some help here to chip or a back or to do something, because he just runs right by him, and he's not going to give Steve Young any time at all. I mean, Steve Young is going to have to kind of fade to his right away from Derek Thomas and get rid of the ball quicker than he wants to.
They got a tight end over here this time.
That's smart.
Didn't help much.
Nope, it didn't help at all. But the guy has to block him. I mean, the guy has to bump him or chip him or do something. I mean, just lining up there isn't going to do. All that does is take Derek, take the outside guy out wider. No, he wasn't even in the picture. It was Derek Thomas. All that does is when he lines up in the tight end, it just puts Derek Thomas out there wider, but Derek Deese still has to block him.
Fourth sack of Steve Young by this Kansas City defense. And the havoc created, for the most part, by Derek Thomas. 3rd and 15. They're only 1 out of 6. And here comes Thomas around the corner. Young steps up. Gets the ball to Owens. That's short of a first down. Steve Young buckled again.
Well, you know, he's saying there that he's all right, but you know that he's not going to be all right. I mean, he's just been, every time that he goes back there, there's someone either hitting him as he throws the ball, like Anthony Davis did that time, or hitting him right as he throws it, or right before he throws it, or while he's throwing it.
Whatever happened to him then was on his throwing hand.
Probably hit a helmet.
Probably. That happens more often than you'd think. Vanover will let this one bounce. It goes out of bounds. The Chiefs will take over at their own 42-yard line. A minute to go in the third quarter. Kansas City leading 28-9.
Also in the third here, it's 10. Buffalo 10. And the third, Jacksonville 26.
There's Marty Schottenheimer
First and 10, Kansas City.
leading cheers on the sideline, challenging on the sideline.
That's one thing that he does is, you know, we were talking about getting players in the game, rotating guys. Everyone has a role, but also keeping every player in the game the whole 60 minutes.
McDonald sneaked up on the weak side. That's Marcus Allen for nothing.
Look at this 49er defense. Has been a dominating defense. You see over on the right side, their NFL ranks. They were all the things they were #1 in. But look, points allowed today, 28 points allowed. Today, 125 rush yards allowed. And today, 1 rush touchdown allowed. So the things that they've been dominating in and very good at, they aren't real good at today. And the Chiefs have a lot to do with that.
2nd and 7. Rich Gannon has gone all the way at quarterback, and he's back to throw right now. Pass is caught by Lake Dawson for a Kansas City first down.
Lake Dawson got up and gave Darnell Walker a little push, because the last time they threw to Lake Dawson, it was that up where Darnell Walker really beat Lake Dawson, and he got the interception.
And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Kansas City 28. San Francisco 9. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Back at Arrowhead Stadium, Chiefs leading the 49ers 28-9. Word on Garrison Hurst, that's Chris Dolman. Word on Garrison Hurst is that he has a cracked bone, cracked collarbone and will not be back. That's a big loss for San Francisco. Marcus Allen.
Yeah, the thing about Marcus Allen, he not only runs and has a good feel, but he still runs with power.
Yeah.
I remember when the Raiders first drafted Marcus Allen. It was my first year out of coaching, and I went up there to watch him practice in training camp, and two of my old guys, Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, came over to him and said, "Boy, Coach, you'd really love this Marcus Allen." He said he's a great blocker, and which, you know, I've always thought that a running back has to do.
Has he changed much since then?
No, he hasn't. I mean, Marcus Allen has always been a very good blocker and a tough running back.
No running backs this time as Gannon gets it out to Vanover. Vanover gets to the 30-yard line before he's wrestled backwards by Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah, that's a little different play. You usually don't see a screen to a wide receiver.
Nope.
Most of the time we think about screens, it's to a running back. That time they put Vanover out, and then they throw a screen to him. And you see he's out here. He's the outside receiver, and then they're going to throw the screen out here. The real quick pass. You see him stop. Then they get their line out in front to make the screen, but the line didn't get out there, and Vanover didn't get back inside.
Vanover is the man in motion on first down. Gannon fake to Allen, looks deep, incomplete for a McDonald. And it's 2nd and 10 at Arrowhead. The Chiefs leading. 2nd and 10. Kansas City has the ball at the 30.
Oh, Fred Lane from Lane.
Yep.
Lane from Lane.
Pitches back to Bennett. Whoa. Met head on at the line of scrimmage by Gary Plummer.
That was a collision. You see Plummer, in fact, he almost got that decal on the left side. See that SF on the left side?
Yeah.
He hit him so hard, he almost knocked that decal off. Gary Plummer's always been one of those guys, if he can get to you, he's going to hit you. Now watch him, number 50 here. You go, you square up,
Ooh.
and then you unload. That's when you know
That's
you made a good,
yeah.
that's when you know you had a good collision, when the guy goes back to where he came from.
3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers. 49ers are blitzing. In the corner of the end zone. That is a touchdown. Andre Rison. What a catch by Rison to salt it further away for Kansas City.
He still has to get to the goalpost, I think.
Yeah. Well, stop for congratulations. Now here he goes.
Spider-Man. You have to get there. Watch him. He's the outside receiver there, and he runs a little stop and go on Tyrone Drakeford, and then again it just becomes a jump ball. And he's the type of guy that if you give him a chance, he's so competitive, he's going to come up with it most of the time.
Extra point is good. 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, 117 yards for Rison. (35-9) with 12:40 left to play, and Stoyanovich set to kick off to Chuck Levy. That was Andre Rison, who has 2 touchdowns today. Short kick for Levy to handle at the 8. And he is tripped up and lost the ball. Joe Horn.
Joe Horn's the fastest guy on this team. He's listed as a wide receiver and a defensive back. Played a couple of years in Canada. And like I said, he's a special teams guy, but he's the fastest guy on the team. And sometimes the Chiefs will just put him in to running up. That time, he come flying down the field. Yeah, you see Rich Gannon there, who's thrown 3 touchdown passes today, but he's really found his open guy. Throwing to Andre Rison is a good thing, but he's also had great pass protection by that offensive line.
He really has. That offensive line, I think if you had to look for a key, they'd be the key.
Yeah, because they controlled and dominated the whole game.
Steve Young pass complete to Owens, dragged down by Hasty. Not many yards.
It's going to be interesting. You talked earlier how Jerry Rice was out here before the game, and he really looked good. In fact, he felt yesterday that he could play in today's game. His target is the Denver Broncos December 15th, but he was feeling so good today. He was making cuts and stuff.
49ers go no huddle. Young gets the ball to Owens, and Owens gets to the 40. There is Jerry Rice. Flag on the play. As Owens. The Chiefs are saying, obviously, that it's against San Francisco.
Anthony Davis was pointing that way. Seems like Ray Brown is trying to control Terrell Owens. Seems like there's been a lot of crew conferences today, huh?
Everybody has an opinion. Gary Lane.
This is one that counts.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 81.
On Owens after he caught the ball.
First down.
You see, he gets the ball here, and then I think he gives a little kick there. See what happened is they wouldn't let him up, so he just gave a couple of kicks to Jerome Woods there. Woods had him down and was holding on him, and Terrell Owens was just trying to kick out of it. That's a little picky. I don't think there's I mean, if someone kicks someone or does something like that, that's a penalty, and they ought to throw him out of the game. But he was just trying to kick out of a hole. That wasn't right. There's Jerry Rice. That has been amazing as a player for so many years, and one of the hardest working, most dedicated players I've ever known. And then he's taking that same approach to rehab.
Nobody works off season through in this rehab. Yeah, just staying in shape.
Yeah, we had some pictures. He was out here with the backup quarterback, Jim Druckenmiller, and he was out here in the pregame warm-up running some ups. And then the last thing you do when you really know that you're okay is when you start making cuts. And he was making cuts out here this morning.
2nd and 3 after the penalty. Stokes, first down. This is before the game. That's Marquez Pope.
Yeah, and you see, I mean, he's not only the first thing you do is you jog and you start to run straight ahead and catch. Then the last thing you do is you make cuts.
Intended for William Floyd, as again, here's the cut.
Yeah, watch Jerry Rice here making these cuts. I mean, he's just starting out to do this, but this is usually the last thing in your rehab before you start to practice. In fact, Jerry Rice is going to put on pads and start practicing next week with the 49ers. And you say, well, why is he so important? You just look at all those things right there.
Look at the
There's
figures.
the answer if you ever had the question.
2nd and 10. Chiefs show him blitz, and here they come off the corners, and Young gets it to Owens. Owens to the 42, stopped by McMillan, Mark McMillan.
I think that Terrell Owens is going to be the next Jerry Rice in the 49ers. He's not going to be as good as Jerry Rice, like Jerry Rice, but he's going to be the go-to wide receiver of the 49ers in the future.
Big, strong guy, 3rd and 4. Young to throw. Has time to Floyd, but not enough for a first down.
And I think Steve Young is saying huddle up again, huddle up, that they know that they're going to go for it on 4th down. That's another example we saw earlier on 3rd down where Brent Jones left a pattern short. William Floyd did the same thing on that one.
Still over 10 minutes left to play.
And when you're down 35-9, you need a whole bunch of scores in those 10 minutes.
Right. And you're up against a tough defensive unit.
And a tough crowd.
Owens the man in motion. Some confusion. Steve Young is knocked backwards and goes down. No flags. And the Chiefs will take over.
I think part of that confusion is the crowd I was talking about. Steve Young is really taking a beating today.
Yeah, he's having
And
a difficult time standing up.
You can just tell his body language is saying that there's a lot of aches and pains and whatever in that body, and that's been administered by this Kansas City Chiefs. And the 49ers haven't gotten anything going for them. I mean, they haven't gotten good pass protection. They haven't been able to run the ball. They don't have Garrison Hurst.
He was just saying yesterday how good he felt at this point in the season. That's changed. I think, John, if I had to fly home on that, I'd go on the bus with you.
I don't think that I would ever get up in anything like that. I don't even know what that is. What would you call that? It looks like
a kite.
The kite? I mean, the kite's up there, but what's this down here? What is that? I mean, the guy's flying. It looks like an airplane with a parachute on it.
This is Greg Hill. Taken out of bounds.
Action down there in the sideline.
And Marty's right in the middle of it.
WWF.
Marty,
I don't know what's going to happen there. Where's Kevin Green? He'll jump in. Greg Hill, Merton Hanks has a cast on his thing. Foreign object hidden somewhere. That's it. Anytime you have that, you always have to look for foreign objects, and he has a foreign object. Look what Steve Young today has had. 27 pass plays. On those pass plays, he's been sacked 4 times, hurried 14 times, and he's been hit 11 times. So this has been a very, very physical game, and Steve Young has been on the losing end of the physical part.
Second down. Hill. Surge over the right side, gets about 3 yards. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL is prohibited. I guess I can understand now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've always thought it was, you know, like the reindeer and a sleigh and stuff. Lo and behold, there's Santa Claus up in the new Madden cruiser. No, there'll never be a cruiser that'll go up there, nor will there be a Madden that'll go up there.
It went down kind of fast, didn't it? Gannon, chase, throws, incomplete.
The pass is incomplete.
Gonzalez, the intended receiver.
Yeah, there's Mrs. Santa Claus. She let Santa Claus go up. And
she didn't go up in it.
No. Santa Claus takes care of all the stuff. I mean, he's looking around to see who's been naughty and who's been nice from above. And then Mrs. Santa Claus, she's just trying to get her sign straightened out.
The girls.
The girls were waiting for that chance, and then
they were.
Lo and behold, here's their chance.
Aguiar back deep to punt. Interesting to see if Steve Young comes back. Away as the case says, get away from it. Takes a Kansas City bounce to the 2.
I think you have your answer.
Not coming back. 35-9. 35-9 at Arrowhead. 8.5 minutes left to play. Kansas City has been in command from the beginning, and they have the 49ers backed up in their own end zone again.
With their backup quarterback in there now, Jeff Brom.
Steve Young through for the day.
That's 2 points.
And 2 more points for Kansas City.
And there's a 49er down in the end zone. It looks like Kevin Gogan holding his left knee. Boy, the 49ers have had their woes today.
Haven't they, though?
They've already lost Garrison Hurst. Kevin Gogan. We know that Steve Young has taken a real beating today. Steve Young, one of the first guys out there to check on Kevin Gogan.
Gogan, a big loss and a big person down in the end zone.
Watch Kevin Gogan. He was the injured 49er. He's right here. And it looks like he just hyperextends his knee because he doesn't really get hit or anything. It's right there. When he put his left foot down, you could just kind of see his knee buckle.
Yep. That's exactly when it happened.
And you can tell how popular Kevin Gogan is because there must have been 10 49er players ran out on the field and stood around him while they were working on him.
Safety for Kansas City. And Tommy Thompson will punt it to Vanover from the 20. And a flag on the play. Looking at Gogan over on the sideline.
Out of bounds. The ball will be placed 30 yards from the spot of the kick at the 50-yard line. First down.
Tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
He's on that. We come back and we're in black and white. What the heck happened? We got knocked right out of color into black and white. You never know who's running this thing.
At midfield.
What happened after the safety, the 49ers fouled up their free kick. They had a free kick, and then it went out of bounds. So now it's 30 yards from the free kick position. So the Kansas City Chiefs start in the 50.
Donnell Bennett.
Now we finally got control back.
Got it back from the X-Files. Huh?
Yeah, well, there was that deal when you get too far forward, taking a couple steps back. The X-Files did, and we got too far forward, so we took a couple steps back.
Throwback. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate directors Mike Roy, broadcast associates Fran Morris and Charles McDonald, technical producer Bob Mueller. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Handoff is to Greg Hill.
Greg Hill.
Yeah, we talked about the pressure that Steve Young had, and you look at Rich Gannon, he hasn't had that. You see, he's had 22 pass plays, he's had no sacks, he's been hurried 5 times, and he's only been hit 1 time. Of course, a lot of that was his offensive line. A lot of that was he had a pretty good running game going. And a lot of that was his running himself. It's going to be interesting how the 49ers, again, having the best record in the NFC. It's going to be interesting to see in the NFL. It's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back after this.
Greg Hill bounced over his left tackle and picked up a couple of yards.
Because it's going to be hard to say that it's a meaningless game. I mean, you got to approach every game as a football game, and like I said, it is a barometer. Because they said that that they haven't played anyone. Well, they're playing someone today, and then you look what happened, and now they're going to have to see. Well, let's see if we can go and play well against someone that's pretty good, because they didn't do it here today at Arrowhead.
Minnesota next week in San Francisco.
And then they have Denver the week after that. So they do have some barometers, some more barometers out there.
Greg Hill again chased into the backfield. Bryant Young got the penetration.
Andre Rison had a big day today, and he was so happy when we were talking to him yesterday about being here at Kansas City. And only Andre Rison, but the first thing that he did when he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs, he got a tattoo on his neck, a 4-leaf clover. It's on the other side. It's on his right. It's on the right neck. And he went out. He said to sell him on the right. Well, you got a left neck and a right neck. Here's your left neck. The other side would be your right neck. Yeah. But anyway, on his right neck, he got a 4-leaf clover for good luck. So only Andre Rison. I just signed with the Chiefs. What are you going to do? I'm going to go get a tattoo on my neck.
My right neck.
My right neck. Well, he had to say, I want a 4-leaf clover on my neck, and they had to say which one, and he'd say my right.
4th down.
I'll tell you, forget the 4-leaf clover and the tattoo. Look what Andre Rison did today. I've always respected Andre Rison as a great receiver. I think that he's had some raps on, and this and that, but as far as a worker and a football player, this guy can be supreme.
And he can make some things happen. Aguiar's kick. It's going to be down inside the 5.
Oh, Louis Aguiar's having a heck of a day.
Yeah.
You know what? You know how Louis Aguiar got started as a kicker? He's from Livermore, California, which is just outside of San Francisco. He got in one of those kicking contests at halftime at Candlestick Park.
Punt, pass, and kick.
Yep, he won it there, and then that got him his first shot.
The Chiefs will be sorry this one's over. Here is Jeff Brom giving to Kirby, and Kirby gets out past the 5. As you thought when we looked at the replay, Kevin Gogan has a hyperextended left knee, will not return. Milstead has taken his place.
There you go, Kevin Gogan, one of the good guys.
Yep.
Good player, and you hate to see anyone get down like that, but it doesn't sound like a bad one if there's anything good in it. That makes sense.
Kirby again. Gets a little room, gets out to about the 15 where he's knocked out of bounds. Next week, it's a big game doubleheader weekend on Fox. It all starts with America's most watched pregame show. Then catch 2 key NFC East matchups as the Giants take on the Eagles, followed by the Redskins as they clash with the Cardinals. Plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. Check your local listing. From deep, Owens, no flag.
Oh, there's an action down there. There's a fight down there. Geez, that was Simmons was just standing there, and Kirk Strafford came and knocked him off. Wayne Simmons is number 56. He's the linebacker that they. Holy moly! Yeah. Strafford saw something he didn't like, and he came running across the field, and he just leveled Wayne Simmons.
Wayne Simmons is what he saw he didn't like.
I know, and Wayne Simmons must have been holding someone or doing something, because Strafford took about a 20-yard run
Personal
at Simmons.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, number 76 on the offense, half the distance to the goal line, still first down.
That took place well after Kirby had run the ball out of bounds and gotten the first down. So it'll still be first down.
The offensive linemen, they keep a watch on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always looking and seeing what's going on, and feeling. And then when they see something they don't like, then boom, they take off to protect their guys, and that's what Strafford did.
Jeff Brom, the quarterback. Pass is picked off. Mark McMillan with a dive into the end zone, and the Chiefs add to their lead.
Little 5'7", 148-pound Mark McMillan. He got a jump on that one, got that interception, and dove into the end zone. Look at him. He's getting himself all pumped up. All his life he's been told he's too small.
He's got a ways to go to get pumped up.
No, but they told him he was too small in high school, too small in junior college, too small at Alabama, too small for the pros. So anytime he ever makes a play, he gives that thing. I'll show you how small I am. Mark McMillan. Watch him get the jump here. You see, he was looking in at the quarterback. Then he looked, and he got a good jump. Terrell Owens kind of did a sloppy pattern there. I mean, you got to do that. You got to get up there and turn around. He just did it slowly. McMillan beat him to the ball.
Stoyanovich for the extra point to make it 44-9. And it does.
And now this is officially a rout.
And we didn't expect this.
Right here on Fox right now, we have a heck of a scene. A week ago we were in in Green Bay, and you know how all the fans stayed there, and here they are, the same thing here. We were talking about that tattoo on the right neck. There's Andre Rison's 4-leaf clover. First thing, now how do you do that? I mean, how do you go in and say, okay, put it right there, and then sit there while they do it?
Gotta hurt.
Yeah, but when someone said that to him, he didn't even flinch. He just didn't even answer. Like, what are you talking about? It hurt. I mean, anyone that gets tattoos on their neck doesn't worry about hurting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Chuck Levy with another chance to return. Dana Hughes knocked him out of bounds. Some barbecue outside, and they do a number here.
Yeah, they're the best. I mean, when you think of Kansas City, you think of the Chiefs and you think of barbecue, and you think of barbecue ribs, and they got it. I mean, they got big old meats, they got burgers.
You don't handle that with your hands now. You get a fork.
Oh, no, yeah. No, I mean, the linemen handle it with their hands.
That was a lineman cooking barbecue?
Yeah, a special brush there. They got the band out there.
Yeah.
They're celebrating. They got everything going here. In fact, talking about barbecue, Otis Taylor, remember the great wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah.
He brought us some barbecue up here in the booth.
Big tray. Good-looking tray. Thanks, Otis.
Yeah, we did a job on that at halftime, huh?
Terry Kirby. Both teams, as clearly as Kansas City has dominated the 49ers, their challenges are not over. They've got Minnesota, then they've got Denver on a Monday night, and then they close at Seattle.
And Seattle can be tough. I mean, Seattle, with the way Warren Moon's playing, that's not an easy deal.
This one, a little bit more on the easy side for Kansas City. Oakland at San Diego and New Orleans. You never know, though.
And I don't think Marty Schottenheimer is going to let this group have a letdown now, because they can still win the division. Fumble!
The ball's on the ground. His arm, I believe, was going forward, but no.
Yeah, that was a fumble.
He was trying to avoid one of the tacklers.
Yeah, you see, he starts on a waggle, so he's running out there, and his arm was going forward at first, and then he brought it back. He stopped it and brought it back and really never got control of it when he gets hit. But as you see, he backs it, brings it back, then he starts to put it up again, and he just gets leveled.
And they have brought some pressure today on the 49er quarterbacks. Steve Young first, and now Jeff Brom.
And old McDaniels put him flat on his back.
There's Big Joe Phillips.
Big Joe Phillips, an amazing guy, a nose tackle who is also a lawyer. Passed his bar in California and in Missouri.
And has a wife who's a lawyer. Greg Hill. Well, they did stick some arrows in Steve Young.
Yeah, we were talking in the pregame show about how, you know, this was going to be the big matchup, and how it was going to be these three guys in here against these two. And I'll have to say that these three guys won, because if you look, 19 rushes inside for 67 yards and 1 touchdown. And then you put that, the pass protection that they did and their whole job. This whole offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs was outstanding today.
Billy Joe Tolliver is the chief quarterback. Greg Hill, the ball carrier. Tolliver, who was at Atlanta, has been around a little bit.
I remember
this guy's a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, I remember Billy Joe Tolliver at San Diego.
Yep. He threw, as a high school baseball player, 14 no-hitters.
He was the guy that when it was San Diego, we're talking about golf and what his handicap was. Yep. And he says, what are we doing, bragging or betting? Because you always carry two, one to brag about and one to bet with.
He is from Boyd, Texas. 44-9, Kansas City. (44-9). Steve Young talking with Terrell Owens.
And I think, Marty Schottenheimer got the bucket right in the face. You're supposed to sneak up behind him. Now that's terrible bucket technique. You're supposed to sneak up behind him and do it.
And that's an early douse. Greg Hill. Outside, out of bounds.
But that was Derek Thomas. I mean, he looked like he gave it a flush in the face.
Well,
man, they got to work on that. I mean, if they're going to win championship games and go to Super Bowls and stuff, they got to work on their bucket throwing on, because they didn't get anything in the back. They got a little in the ears. That's good. You know, in the face they got the glasses.
Yeah.
But you got to get the back and down the neck and stuff like that. I wonder if Marty just turned into it. I wonder if Derek Thomas was trying to sneak up behind them.
Did they start that? Did you ever get a douse like that?
No, they never had buckets like that when I was coaching. They
had just an old regular bucket.
Yeah. It was the Giants is the first ones I remember doing
with Parcells.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't have a Gatorade barrel or anything like that. We had a dipper and a bucket.
Yeah, but Derek Thomas, that was a poor one. I mean, that was. What it was is the technique was bad, but it probably started with poor organization. Probably didn't put a lot of time in on his organization.
A throw like that would have to start with poor organization.
Yeah, but he played a heck of a game today, didn't he, Derek Thomas? The 49ers couldn't block him. I mean, there was no way, and they really didn't. They didn't put a double. They didn't put a back on him, and those kinds of things. But he was just too good and too quick for him. And Derek Thomas is one of the dominating defensive players in this league when he's healthy.
Jeff Brom gives to Kirby. Do you think that conceivably the 49ers weren't aware of how good Derek Thomas is?
Oh, they had to be aware. I don't know that they thought he was fully healthy.
Coming up, the NASDAQ stock market post-game report, scores from around the league, Fox Sports ticker up to the second stats. So don't go away.
See, Derek Thomas had a torn tricep.
Yeah.
And, there are torn biceps, which is the front muscle, and then the tricep is the back there. And you use the front to pull and the back to push. And when you don't have that tricep, it's hard to push. So he wasn't effective. And this is the first game that he played this year without a brace on that arm where he tore the tricep. So that gave him a lot more freedom.
Kirby gets the carry and gets a 49er first down. I think Andre knows we're here.
Andre Rison, he was telling us yesterday how he dreams of being great. I mean, he feels that he belongs up there with the Jerry Rices and the Michael Irvins and those guys, but he felt maybe he was always on the wrong team.
Well, today it's not a dream.
Oh, no, he can play.
Yeah.
He was a basketball player. He went to Michigan State, and he was a basketball player there.
Marty Schottenheimer, and congratulations to you and your staff. You did a heck of a job, Marty.
Steve Mariucci doesn't look like he knew what hit him.
Let's go right down now to Pam Oliver.
All right, with Derek Thomas, and we hear so much about the 49ers defense. Not today.
Well, we read an article in the New York Times this week that said that Derek Thomas and his defense couldn't outplay San Francisco's defense. But, the heart and the souls of the guys on my defense, they showed up today.
Tell me how you were able to get so much pressure on Steve Young today. We're talking 4 sacks, 14 hurries.
I'm in my house, There's no question what happens when you're in my house.
You said yesterday that nobody in the locker room is intimidated by the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I think we showed that today. We went out and took the fight to them, and as a result, the score was 44-9.
It was. Thank you. We're going to talk to your roommate here. Brief roommate anyway. Andre, tell me about this game today. What do you think about the way your offense came out and performed?
Well, coming into the game, we knew we were playing a great defense. San Francisco 49ers have a great team, and we knew our backs would be up against the wall, but we believe in ourselves, and we believe in what we do, and that's what we did today.
You said you dreamed that you were always one of the best receivers in the game. Is that what you showed the world today, to some degree?
Well, I got a glimpse of the world's, greatest, and that's Jerry Rice. And hopefully one day I'll be mentioning the same name he is.
All right, we'll check out that CD next summer, too. Let's go back up to Pat.
All right, Pam. This play of the game is brought to you by Energizer. Gonzalez, the only man rushing, by the way, blocked this punt. And this really took the game away from the 49ers.
Not only did he block it, but he blocked it with one hand.
Yeah. The final score here at Arrowhead Stadium is Kansas City 44, San Francisco 9. Coming up on the NASDAQ postgame report, we'll get you up to date on all the scores from around the league. Also, our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all next on the NASDAQ postgame report.